throughout the instructional design course, I have learned so much, as this was my first ever course to take in instructional design. It was my first semester to even be introduced to this technique or field area. And one thing I remember in the beginning, the theories and trying to understand what it was that instructional design actually entailed, what it was regarding why we were studying all these different theories. And I didn't understand it until I got to the end. So it was very difficult to kind of go with the normal philosophy that I have, which is I usually try to design with the end in mind when I'm coming up with lesson plans or assignments. I always try to go to the goal and then work my way backwards. And for this, I just never understood or could wrap my brain around what the end goal was. So it was a huge learning curve for me, and I really struggled with, keeping the theory straight, understanding why we were doing this. But as the course went on, everything really came together, and I really enjoyed focusing on the Addy project. It gave me a clear understanding, although I think that I have extremely long way to go in order to become more efficient at this type of designing, more knowledgeable in various arenas. It was a very, very good course, very well designed, and it was I learned a lot. Going into the case studies, my favorite case study was I believe it was case study number 3, where the instructional designer had to implement a new learning management system on campus and did not have the support of the IT people. I could completely relate to this, and it gave me insight into a situation that we are experiencing within our own school district, in that we are having a new learning management system implemented, but they are not willing to open up all of the features to the teachers that the software offers, because they're afraid that it will be too much for the teachers to handle. And yet the very thing that they're putting a fence up is the very thing that's creating communication issues between everyone. And so it was a great study for me to be able to refer to whenever I was having conversations with the people in our administration and in our building, and in our outside of our building, in the IT department, really referring to that and saying, if you want these types of this type of software and for it to be successful, you really need to look at some of the case studies and some different things that I've discovered regarding how preventing the full features to be accessible and usable by the teachers that are efficient, and then allowing those teachers to go out and really train the people within their individual buildings can be helpful or harmful depending on how well you plan and how far you're willing to be trusting of your teachers. And if you can't trust you trust your teachers with kids and with students 8 hours a day, but you can't trust them to get onto a computer. So there's just been a little bit of irony there. In closing, I would say it would have been probably a course that I would have preferred to take in person, only because I needed a lot more Q&A than an online course afforded. However, I thought Professor Close did a fantastic job getting back to us and always being helpful when we needed it, explaining things when we needed it. And I will say, though, in the future, if it's a course that is of this nature, I'm going to try to seek out maybe more person-to-person interactions so that I can have a little bit better description and even visuals. Although the visuals with the PowerPoints and the videos were fantastic, I just felt like I needed to be explained. Things just needed to be explained to me a little bit further, and I needed a little more visual representation for my concrete way of thinking, I believe. Thank you so much for listening and for your time, and it has been a wonderful experience.